what was your pre-production process like for The Killing of Two Lovers in terms of like deciding and discussing with Robert the themes and how you're going to cover that through framing and lighting and,
Hmm.
and then obviously the gear.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
So the nice thing about the Killing of the Lover for as far as gear is that we had to use what was available.
right.
Like we didn't really have a budget to rent anything else out. So it's like, okay, well, we have this and these lenses and this lighting equipment. And I was like, great. Okay, well, we'll have to make that work somehow. Um, and then as far as meeting with Robert for pre-production for the style, he was like, hey, I want you to watch this film, this film, this film. Hey,
Hmm.
you should look into this photographer as well. So he had a vision. He just
Yeah.
wanted my input at that point. And we did like two scouts down to Kanash during the weekend, uh, and so I think it was a pretty well kind of like very collaborative um, pre-production, and it's nice to work with directors who already have a vision,
Yeah.
and they just bring you on to kind of like just to hear your input and whatever. Um and so even I would say even on the first day we had a plan, but we were trying to figure out if it was the right thing. And
Hmm.
then when we shot in Kanash after our toy store scene, I that solidified the aesthetic. It's like, okay, these wide frames that we really don't really go for close-ups until like key pivotal moments. Because yeah, and so
After seeing what had played out
yeah.
okay.
But even then we talked about like this should feel like a family album. Like this should feel like a really like rugged family album.
Hmm.
To like there's nothing glamorous about their lives. So and Robert likes underexposure and doesn't mind like a low set he doesn't mind green. He wanted green. And so if it felt dirty, then good. It was good for him.
Hmm.
He So that gave me freedom. And so once I kind of like learned a technical aspect of like, how to shoot it, it just became second nature. Like now I was looking for frames, I was looking for depth, I was
Hmm.
looking for colors, I was looking for like what's going to create depth. It's like I
Hmm.
and we knew that we were going to save the close-ups for very key moments, and that's from learning from theory. It's like
Hmm.
you don't we diminishing returns. You don't want to do a close-up right off the bat when it's like not necessary.
Yeah.
Otherwise it's not going to mean anything.
Yeah. Okay. So you talked about wanting this to feel like a family album. What were some of the themes that you and Robert talked about beforehand that really influenced that style, or like those decisions that then you then solidified on set?
I guess one of the things that we talked about is like since we were, I mean, just being at the location, it just felt like a small town. There wasn't anything there.
Hmm.
The busiest it ever got was like around 3 p.m. so people can go to the market to like that little store. I
Yeah.
forget what's it called, and so there wasn't anything like very flashy about the place. It was very blue collar. And so when I think uh about those towns, I feel like I remember seeing like I feel like I relive it through photographs from like maybe a museum or anything. And when Robert showed the, the pictures of Todd Hito, I think that resonated. And but he talked a lot about long takes. I feel like Robert kind of figured out like the power of a long take
Hmm.
from his other films too. And so he knew that he wanted a shot from where Nikki was living to extend all the way to where he was staying at his dad's house. He wanted to show how close they were, how close he was to see like kind of like uh, uh, this affair that was going on,
Hmm.
and just kind of put the audience into the shoes of um, of
David.
David. Yeah. So
Yeah.
um, I think yeah, I don't think we had too many rules. It was more like we figured out, or at least I figured it out more like on set. I think
Hmm.
maybe Robert already had the vision, and he would probably nudge me if we were kind of going too far away from what he was thinking.
Hmm.
But the nice thing is that every single time I'll like we would frame up, he'll look at it. He's like, so it's like, what do you think? And then he would always kind of ask me for kind of like reassurance, and it's like, yeah, I like it. And then it's like, okay, good, let's shoot it. So it wasn't more like It wasn't like this tyrant director. It's like, okay, no, it has to be this, it has to be
Yeah.
here. It was very, like, again, very
He just
collaborative.
had a clear he had a clear vision, and you were in on that
Hmm.
vision with him.
Yeah, I was just trying to interpret what that vision was, and
Yeah.
hopefully I was making the right interpretation.
Hmm.
Um, but we knew we were going to be shooting in the car quite a bit, so that was one of the things that we did in our scouts, is like, where does the camera have to go? What lens does it have to be on? Um, um, and like we also showed like the proximity of like the mercantile shop to the house, and just kind of put the audience, make them know that this everything here is within like two blocks.
Yeah.
There's nothing that they're not going down to like half an hour to see something. Like everything here is a small town.
Hmm.
Um, um, one like one I think one of the more kind of like things that felt like experimental is when we framed David in his car, we cut off the passenger seat,
Yeah.
and and for me that kind of felt like so there's three homes. There's Nikki's home, David's old home. There's his home that he grew up in, which is not no longer his home. It's his parents' home or his dad's home. And then his only real home is his truck. That's
Hmm.
his own private space. And cutting off the frame of the passenger seat should feel more like kind of like this broken home, kind of like
Hmm.
Nikki's no longer in the picture. So it puts David more constrained into this corner.
Yeah.
So we took inspiration from Ida, where they did framing, like kind of like this off-kiltered framing, and it felt appropriate for this film. And then we took that, and then we kind of just we tried to make it our own.
Hmm.
Uh-huh.